everyone. I'm trying to load my video, so give me just a second. We'll wait for a few more people. I'm a little early, so yeah, I'm not on Mexican time today. It's amazing. So, okay, there we are. Oh, hi, German. Hi, Esteban. How are you guys? I guess I should sit down. And my feet is, of course, frozen. All right, so we'll wait for a couple more people. How's everybody doing? Are y'all doing okay? You're surviving? Yeah, my feed is delayed, so I'm checking to see how it looks. Can you actually see me? Am I in the frame? I can't tell. Hopefully, scoot over just a little bit more. Okay, and then my image should adjust. It's like a 2-second delay between me talking to you and me seeing myself. So it's a little, okay, that's better. Yeah, okay, good, and yeah, you can see me. Okay. It's weird. It's like I'm looking at the future 2 seconds ahead, but not really. Okay. I thought I would do kind of a Where's Waldo since some of you check in every day. Do you notice anything different in the background? Anything grab your eye? I thought I might like move one piece or two pieces. So throughout the show, if you look hard enough, you figure out what's new. Hey, Teacher Joan. Professor Joan, how are you? So we're doing a Where's Waldo. So every day I might move something in this background, and I want to see if anyone notices. Because some people are better, really. Some people are better at details than anything else. Hi, Cab, how are you guys? Hi, Sonia, how are you? So I'm just curious, does anyone notice anything different behind? We're doing Where's Waldo. I moved a couple of things back there. Some things are still from up there that have been all week. So if you see anything or you like anything, just let me know and we can talk about it. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. If I seem a little loopy today, I woke up with a migraine, and I haven't had a really bad one in a while. Frida is missing. She should be on at some point. I know she sent a text last night, so I hope that's what you mean, Joan. So I'll check again. But I did. I woke up with a really bad hangover. Oh my gosh, no. I woke up. I talk about Freudian slip. I woke up with a bad migraine. So, hi, Sam. Good to see you. And it's usually when the weather changes. It's the air pressure. And you notice it got a lot colder. No, your picture of her. Oh. The Frida is missing my picture of her. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so slow. You're talking about what's missing behind me. Okay. Yes, the bag, yes. Gold star. For Professor Jones, she, can you tell I'm a little loopy? My goodness. So I took some migraine meds, and they make me a little kind of, it helps me relax. But also probably when I do my meditation later, I will probably fall asleep. So, because sometimes when this headache is really bad, the only way I can kind of function is to take some prescribed migraine meds. And I don't like to very often. I like to use pain meds as kind of the last resort. I did all the other things that I know how to treat migraine, which is drink a lot of water. I have kind of these essential oils I put. It's almost like a Babel rub kind of thing. Like Vicks fixes everything. You put a little, here, and it just kind of helps. Really, it's the tension. It's a tension headache. It's all the muscles right here around the skull of your brain. So when it throbs, it's tight. You can tell I've done some research on looking at what causes my migraines, and it's stress related. And I think honestly, I'm stressed. I'm not doing as good as I have been the last few days. My students know me that take class with me. My emotions are up and down all the time, and I'm starting to feel a little down. I'm worried. This is starting to hit too close to home for me. I can't really say much at this point publicly, but I'm worried about some friends, and I don't know if they're sick, if it's just allergies, if it's the flu, but anytime I hear someone tell me they're having these symptoms, I get worried. And I'm just like, first I'm worried for them, and then self-preservation and selfishness kicks in and says, okay, but am I going to get sick? And I think we all do that as humans, right? We worry about the other person, but also what about us? So I'm of two minds right now. and I'm worried for everybody else, but I'm also scared to death for myself. Like, I don't want anyone in my life to get sick. Thank you. I hate having migraines. Thanks, Joan. I appreciate that. Because I remember you had a bad headache the other day, and I could feel your pain. And it sucks when you have to work and you have a migraine. If you can just stay home, and sometimes, FYI, when I've had to cancel class, sometimes it's because the migraine is just so bad, I cannot even drive a car. So I have tried really hard this semester to not have to cancel class, and I'm so mad because I was on this track to have, a class dismissed free semester and just use those days like to go to Equity Richland events or, to do a fun scavenger hunt or something. Oh, sorry. We had a scavenger hunt planned. Maybe I'll still do it. Maybe around your house. I don't know. I'll think about it. Sorry, guys. Spoiler alert. But I had so many fun things planned for you guys. So every morning I was really pushing through whenever I had a bad headache. And it's just different when it's a headache at home and when you've tried every remedy you know how to do and you're forced to resort to taking medicine. So, so I'll get through it. I'll just keep drinking water. Eventually these meds will kick in, and now that the weather's getting warmer, it'll shift back, and then usually by the end of the day, there'll be kind of a mental just kind of release. And I'm hoping sometimes by taking a shower, sometimes by doing a physical activity, it distracts me from the pain, and then it finally goes away. So that's what I'm hoping right now, because my pain level, honestly, is at about a strong 4, but it was up there at closer to a 7-8 this morning. So when it's a 9-10, that means I am not getting out of bed, and I would have said someone else do the cast today or just not have the feed at all. So the fact that I'm here and I'm sitting in front of you and I'm present, I will take it as a win. Okay, so I'm sorry, I ended up going, why am I apologizing? I ended up going a little bit longer than I realized about migraines. So, like I said, it's the meds, it's making me loopy, it's making me chatty. So, okay, so that's why I had to write down what I was going to talk about for this reason. Okay, so, so I talked about the migraines. Well, today was supposed to be the day that we're supposed to do the color run, and I think part of that too is why I'm so down. I'm like, we should have been out and throwing shit at each other and enjoying a beautiful day in fresh air, and even though, of course, it was going to be cold as hell that morning, and I'm sad that we're all stuck in the house. And one of the things I found from my board is this is my color run medal from last year's run, and I have the one from the year before somewhere. I think it's downstairs. I have some hung upstairs and downstairs. So, you get a medal. This is from 2019, so this is last year's. So this is what I wanted us to get. I love all the free shit that you get when you go to the color run. I wanted you guys as students to have that experience, and it's just such a bonding moment for our club because we ride the dart together. We really kind of learn more about each other. We get silly. We get funny. So, I know. See, German feels my pain because German was there, and that's how I got to know German, because Rosa dragged her little brother. Hopefully you wanted to come, but I love that she brought you, and we didn't know you, but we got to know you. And then when you come to Richland, you join ALA. So I'm like, I can't think of a better way to recruit students, because now I'm getting the siblings of other ALA's members, and I find that amazing. I love that there's generations now taking my class that come from the same family or the same siblings or a cousin or something. I mean, to me, that is the best compliment a teacher could ever have. And the fact that you listen to your sibling. Like, if my brother had told me, oh, you have to take this teacher, I'd be like, fuck off. What? No, don't tell me what to do. So the fact that you guys have these relationships and you listen to each other, mind is blown, okay? So, again, it's the meds, I'm telling you. This is why I'm loopy. Okay, so there's my color run medal. So I'm going to wear it for the broadcast. Something else that came in the mail, and I'm kind of like, is I bought a more professional set of Loteria. The actual Authentica, as it says, right? Authentica. My Spanish, look, I can read. Juego de Loteria. And I was just like, because, I like the grocery store ones, but they're just not as, they're more fancy, as my mom would say. They're just so special. Even just the feel of the cards. I mean, look at this. This is the classic game. And so part of Latino culture is, if you did not grow up playing Loteria, your Latino card is revoked, okay? You want to get to know Latino culture, you have to know Loteria, okay? I'm sad we can't play. I wonder if there's some way we could figure out a way to play online maybe. But I'll just show you some of the cards. Maybe every so often I'll show you some of the images and stuff and talk about them because they're fascinating. And as you know, and again, I don't want to stereotype all Latinos, but we are kind of sexualized much earlier than I see white families and other families, especially the boys. And have you seen the commercials on television? I know Joan can relate. I mean, there's just tits and ass out everywhere to sell soda, right? I mean, it's insanity. And so every little boy, I remember all the white boys when we played Loteria in middle school, was obsessed with La Sirena. And I don't know if you can see. Can you guess why they're obsessed with her? She has her boobies out, okay? Now when you buy the ones at the grocery store, she has a bra on. You know, they're censoring now. So many a Latino boy got early kind of angst, feelings, whatever, because of La Sirena. I just find that so funny. Oh boy, oh my goodness, okay. Yeah, see, and there's enough for 10 people, and mira, look at the cards, and they even give you the little thingies to play like bingo. Does anyone know what we use instead of these back in the day? Anyone remember? The thing you're supposed to use when you play Loteria? Someone text me the answer. Hi, Tandy, good to see you. Hi, Grace, how are you? What do you think? What did we use instead of these to put as a dot when you got your card? Okay. Beans, yes! Ding, 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 yes! Martha, is that you? Oh, como estás? It's another Alice alumni. Martha, how are you? I see you all the time. Your little nephew is getting so big. Oh my gosh. I can't believe how time has flown. Oh, mija, it's so good to see you. I love you. I miss you. I just, hope you're doing well. Yay, Martha. Oh, I'm giving you hugs. You know I would hug you if I saw you. I would hug all of you. So I'm sending you love and kisses and energy. So, oh, yay. Yes, can you tell I'm a little hippy-dippy today? A little, I felt very kind of zen and just, did anyone else do this growing up? Did you kind of maybe put on an outfit and play with makeup and hairstyles and maybe put on your old prom dress and walk around the room? That's kind of what I'm doing now in my confinement. I look through the pretty tops. I'm looking through my old jewelry. I'm putting on makeup. I'm trying new eyeshadow. I'm basically playing dress up so I can go on the internet. So there you go. Thank you. Oh, mija, thank you. Yeah, this is actually a top I bought in Cancun 2 years ago. As you can tell, it's actually a beach top. But whatever, fuck it, I wear it as a shirt. So, and I would wear it to class when the weather got warmer. So I wanted to remember a happier time when I was on a beach in Cancun. All-inclusive resort. By the way, if you've never done an all-inclusive resort, it is the way to travel because you pay one fee for the airline, for the hotel room, all the food you want to eat, and all the alcohol you can consume. It is amazing. And probably the only time that I ever actually drink a little bit more than I should. Because, hey, fuck it, it's free. I think it's probably also why I'm not a big drinker. Because those drinks are expensive unless you can get a guy to buy for you. But I'm getting kind of past that age now. So, and I have a boyfriend. But, yeah, I'm just not a big drinker. But all-inclusive, let me tell you, okay? It is the Gladiator soundtrack. You can hear it. There's a yoga channel on Pandora. So, and I've actually done yoga in a yoga class. The soundtrack is perfect. You have to do that one. And what's the other one? Cirque du Soleil. Any of those albums, any of their soundtracks from their performances are all so good. Well, hey, better late than never, Grace. At least you're here. I'm glad you're here. We're just getting started, so that's fine. Yeah, it's so good. So I like to have music on at all times. Okay. So here are some of the Loteria cards. I think maybe every so often I'll pull some out to look at. Oh, yes, this is how you learn your Spanish. El borracho. Did anyone guess what that is in English? Anyone want to translate for the group? Who is el borracho? Someone tell me. It's just like in class. Silence. No one wants to speak. Someone, text me. What's the answer? I'm waiting. The drunk. Thank you. Okay. It's telling yeah, that is not you. I hope that's not you. Oh my goodness. Then you need to shave. Jesus. Okay. Drunk, yes. You can't see it? Oh, I'm sorry. I said el borracho. Does that help? Yeah. Just Google Loteria, Loteria, and then the drunk, or Loteria cards. By the way, speaking of that, there is a whole subculture of Loteria art where people make all kinds of bags out of these. In fact, some of you have bought one from me. I have one somewhere. I'll hang it up next time. I have it downstairs. I've seen plates with the Loteria cards. If you go on Pinterest, oh my God, canvases, so many things. And I just love these little images. I think I might do some little mini paintings because I still have some of those small canvases. I wanted to make like little Loteria art, so that might be a future project that I'll do. I'm going to give Montserrat, our LS vice president, a shout out. When she got married, they cut these out and put them on good old-fashioned matchboxes. You know, the old-fashioned matchbox when you light a match. And inside, they filled it with candy. And that was the wedding gift when you went to their wedding. So I love very creative weddings like that. I don't know that I'll ever get married, but I do enjoy seeing a beautifully done wedding and the decorations and the dress. I just want the party and the gifts and the honeymoon. I don't know about the marriage part, but, you know, that's a whole nother story. Okay. So that's the Loteria cards. Yeah, so if you ever see anything with Loteria on it, take a picture, send it to me, tell me how much it is, and I will reimburse you. Okay? I'm serious about that offer. I've had people that have brought me stuff from other countries, knowing that I liked it, but please let me reimburse you. Okay? I mean, I do. I love the gifts. You guys are so generous with me. I feel so spoiled, but I do. I always feel like I want to, like, at least pay you for that. So I'm weird. I feel weird about the gift sometimes. But I do love them, and they are all over my office, so I'm of two minds of that too. Like, keep them coming and let me pay for them. So it's hard. Okay. I love. Yes, that's Max and your cousin Tio. Yes, I had several drunk uncles. I didn't know what a 40-ounce bottle was until my uncles. They're the ones that would drink a 40-ouncer for breakfast and then go to mass on Sunday morning. I don't know how they probably drank it so they could get through mass, so they can look like they're participating, but they're drunk out of their gourd. And then in the afternoon, it's more drinking. I mean, how insane! And yet these guys live forever. Makes no sense to me. It just blows me away. Okay, so we talked about Color Run. We talked about Loteria. All right, going back to being afraid of the virus. See, I was able to at least distract myself for a little bit. Hey Google, lower volume. Okay, sorry, I had to lower that just a little bit. That was a Christmas gift, by the way. No. I don't know if you saw, I just saw an update on my phone before the live feed. The vice president and his wife are now getting tested for the coronavirus because several of their staff members now are testing positive. And back to that anxiety that I was having, I'm genuinely scared. I meditated on this, and I thought about what is it that I'm truly afraid of. I really took the time to think about it. There's two things that I'm upset about. One is fear of illness, and the other is fear of death. And you'd think the two are the same, but they're not, at least for me personally, and that's something I want to share with you today, is how I feel about fear of illness versus fear of death. Okay, so if you'll indulge me, let me share with you what my thoughts are on this, okay? And then we'll do something more lighthearted and we'll do some trivia, okay? All right. So, fear of illness. My fear is the fear of being sick. And unless you've been really sick before, you don't really have a full concept of just how painful it is to be sick. I just recovered from walking pneumonia in January. I was sick for most of December, well into January. And then, of course, my boyfriend got the flu as well, and he got it even worse. And until you have had walking pneumonia and you know what it feels like for your lungs to feel heavy in your chest, and you can't take a deep breath, and you're just coughing and coughing and coughing, that is painful, my friends. We hear this term ache. I never knew what aching really meant until I got sick and started getting bronchitis as an adult and started getting walking pneumonia. I always thought ache was like heartache, like, oh, I yearn for that, or oh, I really want that someday, like wishful thinking. Having an ache is almost like a pain that just reverberates, almost like a bass drum. It just beats. And when your lungs hurt from all that coughing, they're just aching. There's like this pulsing feeling in the middle of your body that you've never felt before. And let me tell you, it's fucking hell, because nothing you can do takes the pain away. You take cough medicine, hopefully, to distract from the pain, to fight the illness. You sleep because you just don't want to be awake to feel that pain. That's the part I'm afraid of, and honestly, I just dread it, because having to cough all that shit out of your lungs, if you have the strength to do it. My doctor told me once she actually had a patient that cracked her own rib because she was coughing so much. So you can actually hurt your own body just trying to get better. And the thing I didn't know is that there are actually muscles between the rib cage here. And when you cough, they stretch. They have a little give. So if you're coughing, that's like doing 1,000 crunches in Pilates class. You're going to be fucking sore the next day. So on top of the lungs aching, trying to breathe, your ribs ache because you've been coughing so much and your muscles are sore. And so it's that feeling of being sore from a workout, but in your fucking ribs. That's what's insane. And so let me tell you, that is just a misery I don't want to have to go through. And I've been through it. What if you've never done it? What if you've never had that kind of illness before? The first time I got bronchitis, for me, has always been the worst, because I had nothing to reference it to. Okay? I had never been that sick before, ever, in my life. And at one point, I just started crying, because I was so frustrated. I couldn't stop coughing. I couldn't get better. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what the next steps were going to be. That is the fear. That's the frustration. Oh, look. Good to see you. So that's my fear. And let me tell you, if you do get sick, and I hope you don't, please do not get sick, but if you do, you're going to have to fight, and you're going to have to really trust that your body can fight off the illness and push through and have that positive energy. What I'm afraid is the people that don't have the strength to cough, to take a deep breath, to have the health, the immune system to fight and push the illness out. So that's where my fears are, and that's why I'm not sleeping so well, and that's why I woke up with a fucking headache. And actually, honestly, since I've been talking to you about this, my headache is starting to lessen. I'm now probably at about a 2 right now with the headache. So who's to say that at least talking through what's upsetting you won't get rid of a headache? Okay. So that's the one fear that I have, fear of illness. Now, fear of death is something actually completely different from me. Actually, for me, that's what I mean. Those of you that have had class with me know, and I've said this many a time, that I plan to live until I'm 90 years of age. My goal is 95. And if I make it any years after 95, it's all gravy. I really want to live to 100, but, I don't want to be selfish. 95, I think, is a good, compromise. Okay? And so I tell my students, if I die before I'm 90, please know that I died pissed off. Okay? Because I have shit I want to do. If you could see the chaos in this room and throughout the house, I have so many things I want to accomplish still in my life. I still want to teach my classes. I still want to publish my book. I have so many dreams I still have yet to reach. And I need all my 95 years. So that's the other thing, is I'm taking a stand against this virus, and I'm going to say, fuck you, you're not taking my life. If I get sick, I get sick. But let me tell you, I'm going to fight through it. And I'm going to fight, and I'm going to do the coughing, and I'm going to cry, and it's going to be fucking hell. But if I get sick, I'm fighting to stay alive. I'm not going to let it take me out. So please know that. And if I lose that battle, then again, know that I died pissed off. And I'm probably up in heaven trying to speak to somebody. I want to speak to a manager, because you're going to send me fucking back. That's how I feel. Okay? I don't often share my views on death, because people think I'm weird anyway. But if you're interested, this is how I look at it. I want to live a long life. A beautiful life. An incredible life. Less pain would be nice. Okay? And hey Google, lower volume. Sorry, it's getting a little bit louder. I don't know what's happening. The other thing about death is that I probably have witnessed more death than most people. And that's something I also don't share a lot. Before I was 15 years old, I think I attended over 10 funerals. Death was so common in my childhood and in my early 20s. It just became part of another cycle of life that I had to adjust. That every year or 2 years, there's going to be another funeral. Better gear up, there's going to be another funeral. My mom would keep a pre-packed bag in her room because she knew once they got the phone call, someone died, we're going to get in the car, we're going to go to San Antonio. Because that's where everyone is passing away in my family. So that's what I grew up with. Lost both of my grandparents, great-grandmother, a lot of uncles. A lot of deaths were, old age. And because I was honestly a late-in-life baby, my mom actually had me at 35. And I was also a last chance baby. So there was a brother between me and my oldest brother, and that baby did not survive. That baby lived 3 days and died of SIDS in 1972. So for my mom, 72 is just a black hole of misery. To have birthed child and then it barely lives 3 days. And it's one of those things that I think maybe his lungs weren't developed enough, but it was the 70s, they didn't quite have the technology, and he kept turning blue. And then one day he just went to sleep. And let me tell you, when you live with a parent that has lost a child at any age, whether it's a baby or an adult, parents that have lost children have a special sadness in their face. And you see it. If you look for it, it's right. There's always this tinge of just, I'm here, I'm happy, but the sadness is there in the eyes. The one who had it beautifully, by the way, was Marilyn Monroe. What makes Marilyn Monroe so beautiful is because she survived so much pain. And one of her biggest sufferings was that she had several miscarriages. And she even had a botched abortion, a back alley abortion. And my students, we've talked about that, the thing with the coat hanger and the illegal doctors. And it messed her up, and she could not carry a child because it got so screwed up. So there's a pain, a special pain when you lose a child before you get to see them grow. And my mom was never the same. She was broken by that. My brother and I often comment that we have two different moms. The mom that he had was very much the 1960s mom, the Mad Men mom, the cooking, the cleaning, being the housewife. And then after that, my mom became a whole different person. But I think the blessing of that is she found her voice. She had a complete breakdown. And my father too. It was rough. And my mom, for the first time, sought professional help. She went to a psychiatrist. And back when, and still in many Latino homes, it's very taboo to go see therapists. And I have my students that tell me that too, and I tell them, well, they don't have to know if you don't tell them. Go see a therapist. I don't tell my mom, if I'm on medication for depression or not, because she comes from a different school of you just grin and bear it. So my mom finally went and saw a psychiatrist. And when she started opening up and she started talking, he was just like, how are you standing here? How are you here with all the shit you've gone through? Even he was amazed by her stories. And I think someday I am going to write her story because of all the shit she went through. I think her story is powerful and needs a voice. And he taught her to yell back. To say, no, I don't have to do what you tell me to do. No, I don't have to clean the kitchen. No, I don't have to iron clothes. No, I don't have to do the laundry. If you don't give me respect and treat me like an equal, then I'm not doing any of these things. And she basically went on strike. And let me tell you, it was a sad day for us because we had to have a lot of microwave dinners. There's a couple of years there in my early childhood. She just went fucking on strike. And it's like a union going on strike. And you're just like, you can't find anything. You're eating bologna sandwiches for dinner. You don't know if clothes are clean or not. I mean, and it needed to happen because we had to learn how to fend for ourselves. And let me tell you, my brother makes a really good macaroni and cheese dinner. The Kraft shells and cheese kind of thing. No, I'm sorry. Hamburger Helper. That's what we lived off of. Is Hamburger Helper. When my mom was fucking on strike and like, you guys don't appreciate me, you don't respect me, you don't do anything to say thank you. Man, I would look at my brother and I'm like, Hamburger Helper tonight, right? He's like, yeah, I'll go to the store. So, oh, Latina moms, they're just loca. So I was born 2 years after that brother. So I'm a late in life baby. I'm a second chance baby. And when people always ask, why are you here on this earth? What is the purpose and how did you come into this world? Some of us came into this world through an act of violence. Some of us came through a loving marriage. Some of us came through the world because teenagers got too frisky and forgot to put a condom on. But when I think about why I came in, I think I was here to help heal my mother and to give her peace and to give her a chance to raise a daughter and to help absorb her pain. So my mom and I are very connected, and as you can tell, the fact that I can't hug her and I can't hold her hand, can't give her a kiss on the cheek, it's breaking me. It really is hurting. And I have always felt like my job in life is to make sure other people are okay. And that's really why I wanted to do this broadcast and do the live feeds, because I want to make sure you're okay. Elizabeth's like, I'm hungry now. I know. Hamburger Helper is freaking amazing. So back to, so you can imagine what death has played a very strong role in my life, in shaping the people I love. And when I was really young, the first time I saw a dead body, I think I was in 5th grade, 4th grade. And then from there, well into college, just about every year, every 2 years, going to a funeral, going to a funeral, going to a funeral. So that's just, it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of when you have a large family. And my grandmother had, 10 kids that survived. I think she had 12 pregnancies. And then all of those people are so much older, and then they all start dying out. I mean, it's just like funeral, 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 funeral. And my mom, her mother came from a big family. So my mom had the same experience. My mother's childhood is funeral, 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 death, death, death. So if I'm sick of funerals, you can imagine she does not want to go, ever. I'm an earth angel. That's cute. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. I bet your mom's in Honduras. You want to hug her? I know. I mean, that has to be even harder to know they're on the other side of the world. And you can't touch them, and you can't hug them, you can't get on the plane. And your mom, of course, does not want you to come. She would never tell you come. Of course, she would say stay at home, because that's what our mothers do. They sacrifice. That's why they're always the last ones to eat. Or if there's not enough food, they're the ones that say, no, I'm full. I'm just going to have a little salad. I'll be fine. I mean, it's always the moms. And my mom is that everyone, so much so. My mom would give you the shirt off her back if you needed it, and would never complain that it's cold outside. That's who she was. And, man, I don't know how we got here. Sorry. But that's, from as sad as those things are, I'm not afraid of death. I feel like death and I we're not pals, we're not friends, but death and I have a healthy respect for each other, because I feel like death visits me more than most people. This is going to sound really out there, but I actually feel death sometimes when he's in the room. And I think it's a him. I don't know. I give it a male personality. When my boyfriend's grandmother was in the hospital and she was passing away, I was sitting on a chair away because all the family is around her, holding her, praying, crying, and they know she's taking her last breaths. And what's really kind of, I have it like a sixth sense that I inherited from my grandmother. I kind of know when something's going to happen. And my boyfriend at the time, about half an hour earlier, said, "Hey, I'm getting tired, why don't we go?" And something inside me said no. I looked at her and I said, "No, we're going to stay at least 30 more minutes. We're going to stay a little longer. It's not time to go yet. Go be with your grandma." And so while he's there with his siblings and his mom, and they're all kissing and crying and loving her, I'm in a chair in the corner because, I'm not close family, and I don't want to intrude. I want to be respectful. I took my crocheting. I take my crocheting wherever I go, and I just start crocheting. And I feel death. Hospitals are always very cold, and I think for me especially they're cold because for some reason death likes cold. So whenever I feel like there is a presence of him, there is a cold chill, at least for me. And so as I'm crocheting, I feel him come in, and I feel him take her. I can't explain it. I can't really articulate exactly what that means, but I feel like death kind of gave me a head nod, acknowledges me, I acknowledge him, and it's kind of this mutual agreement of, yeah, you're not coming for me today. Someday, yes, you're going to show up for me, and I know that, but not today. So I see those bags all the time that say, "Not today, Satan," and I say, "Not today, death." Not today. Someday, yes. Someday it's inevitable. Someday I can't delay that appointment any longer. And he's going to come, and I know. And so I'm not really afraid. And the thing about me, though, is the thing about death and about wanting to live until I'm 100. I have to say goodbye to everybody before me. I always feel like this is my own belief, okay? You don't have to agree. But my personal belief is that if you want any kind of success in the world, something that makes you feel fulfilled, you have to pay a price for it. You have to sacrifice something on the altar of the things you want. And the thing I sacrificed for the career that I wanted, for the education, was knowing that I probably would never have a family, a child of my own. And I made that choice when I was 15 years old. At 15, I knew that I was probably not going to get married and I was not going to have children. And of course, people were so dismissive when I used to share it. "Oh, you're so cute. No, you're going to find a husband and have a great wedding and we're going to be there." All my life, I heard that. But the thing is, I have known for a very long time the intended path for my life. And I knew that if I sacrificed family, I could live with embracing this. So there has to be a good with a bad. There has to be a balance. No, I don't have a child. I have a teenager who is not mine. I didn't give birth to him. He is from my boyfriend's previous marriage. Okay, but now and that's the final irony, is that, the expression, "Men plan, God laughs." Yeah, God laughed at that one too. He still gave me a family, and he gave me a teenager to raise, of all things. But for some reason, I do better with the younger age group than I don't do well with little kids. And I knew there's no way I was going to handle being stuck at home with an 8-year-old. That would drive me up a fucking wall. And as cute as babies are, I'm good for 10 minutes, and that's it. So, that's the price. But the thing is, I still became a mom in a way. My students are my children. Martha is my daughter. I feel like I was there when she needed me the most. Because at some point, as you get older, you stop listening to your parents. You don't want to hear what they have to say, even though you know they're right. You don't want to trust an adult. And I feel like that's where, as a community college professor, I feel like sometimes students hear me more so than they hear their family. And that, I think, is the value of teaching. And so that's who I raise. So to see you grow and to develop, that's why. So in a way, I did get both. So that does make me happy. So that's the price of wanting to live a long life, is I'm going to have to say goodbye to so many people who are in poor health, who are older than me. But just know this, the thing is that if you're part of my life, I will always honor you and love you and keep you in my thoughts each day. One of the things I do when I do yoga is I do a pose and I send love to all the people in heaven that have passed away in my life. And there's a lot. And that's actually how I keep my pose, my triangle pose for so long, because it takes me time to go through the list of people that have passed away. So I'm distracted by saying hello to them, and I'm not thinking about how much pain my body is in as I do this pose. So I know and again, I don't really share my religious beliefs, but for me, yoga is very spiritual, and it's a way for me to connect and get out the negative energy and also bring in positive energy. And yeah, that's why when I do yoga, I feel amazing afterwards. And so when I haven't done yoga for a long time, thank you for allowing me to be a saint to join Allah's. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. We are definitely. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, and I worry about you, Leslie and Eric. Once you leave Allah's, I still want to know about you. I still want to know what you're doing with your life. So, yeah. And honestly, I'm going to say this. When I do pass away someday and you're still around, you're coming to my funeral. Okay? Please. And I want an altar at my gravesite every year. I want Day of the Dead celebrations. That's the kind of legacy that I want. Okay? So, but I'm going to be around a long time, so you better stay healthy and be around as well. Okay? So that's how I look at death. I look at it as a spiritual practice to be grateful. It's kind of my way of saying a prayer. And I know there are probably many more deaths coming, and that's the part that I don't like about this virus, is that I don't want to go into I don't want to attend any funerals right now. I don't want to say goodbye to any loved ones. I want us to get through this, and if you pass away, it's because of something else other than this bullshit virus. So that's why I say I'm of two minds of that. So, all right. So I rambled a little bit on that. Okay. So can we do a little breathing exercise so I can kind of regroup and come back? I'm sorry. I'm just a little manic today. Whew. Okay. So let's do some breathing. And this time, rather than doing your hands up like this, I'm actually going to do my hands in Namaste prayer. Okay? So you do whatever. If you want to do this, if you're holding the phone watching this, you can do it like that. Okay? So we're going to take a deep breath in. Okay? And our hands are going to go out. And we're going to breathe in through our nose and make that sniff sound. So hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and deep breath out. And I'm going to open my hands this time. Okay? As I come down. All right? Now let's do it again. Breathe in. And make sure you do the ha sound. Out. So you're forcing that air out of your stomach. Okay? Let's breathe again. Up, 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 up. And out. Okay? Let's do two more. Breathe in. All the way to the top. Look up with your eyes. Up, up, up. And then all the way down. All right, let's do one more. Let's let this be the last big breath of the day. All the way up, all the way up. Your biggest breath, your biggest breath. Now go ahead and turn your wrist and push down the negative energy. I'm pushing the anxiety away. I'm pushing everything away that is upsetting me. And I'm going to take a breath. And I'm going to release all the sadness. I'm releasing all of the worry. I'm taking in all of your love and your appreciation and your gratitude. And I love that you are here with me and that we're all connected. Okay. So I'm going to give you a blessing. Namaste. So you can say namaste back or whatever you do in your practice. Okay. Yeah. Do you feel better? Do I look calmer? I feel a lot calmer. I feel a little more centered. So thank you. That's, I think, honestly, do you know why I do this live feed check-in? It's not just that I'm worried about you guys. I'm also worried that if I don't survive it, that these are my last words. And that I'm going to leave them on the internet. So that if I go, and just know if I die pissed off. But I wanted to at least leave some of myself on the internet forever. So that's the selfish reason. Did you know that whenever we do philanthropy, whenever we give back, it actually is a self-motivated, selfish act? We do it because, yes, we want to help others, but we also get something back from it as well. We get gratitude, we get positivity. Absolutely. Oh, I'm going to survive, Tandy, I promise. Just like when we did the school shooting drills, man, I'm not going to let some fucking gunmen take me out. We're going to fight, and we're going to fight this as well as if this guy is a shooter in our country, and we are at war with a virus this time, and not the Nazis, but I don't mind equating the two with each other. So we're going to fight Nazis. We're going to stop it, and we're going to end this, and we're going to go back to campus, and when I see all of you, please just come up and give me a big hug, because I'm going to need it, and I'm going to give you a big hug. And the next time we're on campus, you see me anywhere on campus, you just come up to me, and you give me a hug, and you tell me you're okay. And that will be making all of these videos worth it. So, okay. All right, so I have two things that I want to share with you, okay? I saw, some of you might have seen the post, there actually is a call for masks. Remember I talked about how I was going to, I broke out my sewing machine. It took me 2 hours, by the way, to watch several videos to figure out how to fucking thread the machine, because it's been so long. The last time I used my sewing machine was 2 years ago at a friend's house, and so her machine is totally different. My mom's machine is totally different. And then, did anyone else take home ec back in the day in high school? I did, and that's where I learned to sew, actually. We did cooking as well, but I already knew how to cook and how to bake. But I love the sewing part and the patterns, and you pin it to the fabric, and you cut the fabric, and then you sew it. I made a skirt that I kept for years. I finally got rid of it, unfortunately. I should have taken a picture of it. I bet I have one somewhere. And just every so often, I get this bug to want to sew, and I have made costumes. I even made a Roaring 20s outfits for a party, and I buy more patterns. So I have coming full circle again back to sewing, and I had already been looking for material to make masks. So again, back to that sixth sense, I had this feeling like we were going to need to make our own, and so I already went to Walmart and bought all the stuff before they started announcing that they need masks. Hospitals were saying, if you know how to sew, make a mask. So that's the hashtag sew masks. So if you have a sewing machine, you can post your images of your masks and do that hashtag. Also, I'll send the link. I'll follow up on where we can go to donate masks and drop them off. Now, one of the hospitals said you can go to their emergency room and they'll give you a kit with the pattern and everything. But I don't want to leave my house right now, and I don't want to risk that. So I'm just going to make what I see on the internet, and it's the same thing. They have the pattern online, and I even got some cute material, and of course, I have to make a sugar skull mask, so I like that one. I got this one. I was going to make this one for my brother. Wonder Woman, Batman, his two favorites. So he loves anything superhero related, so I'm going to make that one for him. I got a doggy one. I think I'm going to make this one for me, or for my puppy. You know, should we make a mask for the dogs? I don't know, but I just think they're cute. And then I also got this one I liked as well. It's those old compass maps, too. And then, of course, I got plain, just cotton, white and black. So, and get this, my partner even offered to help me make them. And he's like, yeah, I'll just make a template, and he can just cut, and I'll sew. I even got elastic, you know, for the side. So I was already ahead of the game. So I'm so glad, because you know now that there's a call for masks, you know there's a run on all of those materials. So I'm just going to make as many as I can with the material I have and go from there. But I'll look at, if you see anything on the internet about where we can actually collect and drop off masks, let me know, and we'll go from there, okay? I just heard the door, and I heard my puppy, so I don't know what's going on. Okay. All right, so Leslie said she's going to make masks. I think Claudia said she wanted to make a mask. I know German's family. So let's have some of the LS students, let's start making masks, and I'll follow up on where we can donate them, and just share them on Instagram, how many you're making and what you're doing, If you want, if I need to do a tutorial video, I am willing to try and do that. Let me try and make some, or I can share some of the videos that I've used to make a mask, okay? Salvation Army, maybe, I don't know. So someone Google it. I think it's Wise Healthcare Systems. They're the ones that put the call out. So we just need to find out how we can safely drop off the masks that we make, okay? So I'm not sure. All right, so I will do some digging, do some Googling. Let me know. You can send me a message through the Instagram account, through the LS, or through my personal, or just send me a regular email or text, and we can go from there. Okay? All right, so there's the masks. And then I decided I'm actually going to take tomorrow off from the live feed. Sunday is usually when my boyfriend is home all day, and we did plan to do a family project outside. We're actually dismantling my 17-year-old teenager's play set, the swing set, that he made by hand on his own. I mean, how amazing is that? He just has he has a creative mind. He has a mechanical mind. And rather than pay X amount for a swing set, he looked at some, he did some measurements, he bought the wood and the materials, and he made his own jungle gym swing set thing. But now it's 17 years later, and it's leaning like this, and all it is now is an aviary for bunnies who have their babies. So every morning when my dog goes outside, she has to go check out her bunnies. It's like her bunny patch. She is obsessed with these bunnies. And the little juniors will freak out and run, and she'll run and catch them, which terrifies me because I hear the little squeak. And in the beginning, she would get too heavy-handed in how she grabbed them, and she would break their neck, and they'd die, so there would just be a dead bunny. I'm just like, ah. Now she has learned to be a little bit more gentle, and now she doesn't even try and grab them in the mouth. She just likes to chase them. She just likes to follow them. It's so cute. A couple of times she's brought a rabbit into the house on her little bed as a gift for me. I can't tell you how many times I've actually had to pick up a little baby bunny, and they are so cute. And check them, make sure they're stunned, but they're okay, and then release them back. So, yeah, this swing set needs to come down. It's becoming like bunny Caligula out there. It's just sex with bunnies all day long out there. I mean, it's nuts. So I'm going to take Sunday off. I may do a pre-recorded video that I'll post. Maybe if I do some sewing, maybe that'll be the video I show of me actually making the masks. Something like that, but I need a little bit of a break, and if we're going to be outside all day, hot and sweaty, I don't want to have to keep track of the time and then run up and do another live feed. So I'm going to wait until Monday, the 23rd. Now, remember, we are not having class next week. Remember, the campus is still going to be closed. And by the way, we got an email from our college that basically the campus is on lockdown. They're not going to let any students on campus. So if you were hoping to go to the library or go to the computer lab or any of that, you're going to be turned away. They're only going to let some faculty on campus on a limited basis, and I have to show an ID, and I have to get my name on a list if I want to go. I'm still debating because I think I have everything I need to finish out my semester. It's so you can go to your office and get stuff. So I will see. I'm going to wait until maybe later in the week. I don't know. So we'll see about that. So I know your professors are working on gearing up for online instruction, so just be patient. Give them until the end of next week. Hopefully you will have heard back from some of them. My students have heard back from me. I'm going to start getting more assignments posted. I am going to start working on grading again. I had to take a break. This was my spring break, and so I had to take a mental break just from grading. So, yeah, Professor Jones, she's not going. Yeah, I may not go either, so I don't know. We'll see. So, while I'm off the air, I'm going to give you an assignment, okay? And I hope you'll try it. It's a challenge, and it's called, and this is something I actually give my history students, and it actually is an extra credit assignment, and yes, if you do it, yes, I will offer you extra credit this semester, and we'll count it as one of our RLC events. So, it is called the Do Nothing Challenge, okay? So hopefully you can see that. So what I want you to do is I want you to find a spot in your house, okay, or if you can go outside safely, and I want you to do absolutely nothing for 30 minutes, okay? Now, let me explain the rules, because I've actually have students that are like, what? What do you mean, do nothing? Like nothing? Absolutely not. Just sit there, okay? Here's the catch. you can't have any technology on. So no phone, no internet, no TV, no music, no nothing. All you can do is use your phone as a timer, set an alarm for 30 minutes, and put it face down. And you cannot check it at all, okay? Now, if you want to do this in your room, you're welcome to. If you want to lay down while you do it, you can. But if you fall asleep, it means your body was tired and needed rest. And when you wake up, guess what? You have to start your 30 minutes all over again, okay? So I would do sitting. That kind of helps, all right? And so I want you to try this challenge. For many of my students, this is an impossible mission. But I thought in light of us being homebound, it is time that you learned about the art and the beauty of doing absolutely nothing. Now, let me say this. This can be triggering for some of you. So if you have severe anxiety, if you have, ADD, or if you have some emotional problems, I want to be sensitive to that. So if this becomes too much, don't do it, okay? But for everybody else, I want you to give this a try, okay? Let me tell you, and let me talk a little bit about why I want you to do this challenge, okay? We live in a world, and this is what I'll end with. We live in a world where we are too distracted by our technology. Many of us just go from moment to moment to moment. That's why being home right now is very jarring. We're on our phones, we're listening to podcasts, we're listening to music, we're sitting in class, we're doing homework, we're checking internet, we're on Snapchat, Instagram, boom, boom, constant. And I know many people who just, no, you cannot listen to music, Grace. No music, no nothing. Just listen to the silence, basically, okay? And we don't know how to be still anymore. We don't know how to be silent in our own minds, okay? Let me tell you, it's what we call a transcendental experience. And it's actually a lecture that I was going to teach you if you took History 1301. Those of you that took it with me before, you remember this lecture. We don't know how to be still, okay? Henry David Thoreau, you can look up a book he wrote called Walden. He did this experiment, okay? And this is during the Transcendental movement in the 1800s. And he would actually retreat to a cabin and be completely alone and completely silent and live completely off the land and not have any human contact, not live in the city, not use any advanced technology. And the whole book, Walden, is about that experience. Okay. Now, in my class, I like to tell the chisme of history, and let's just say that he kind of cheated on his method because he didn't go deep into the woods. He went to his friend Emerson's farm, where he had a little cabin remotely on the property, and every day his mom and his sister would bring him fresh food and fresh laundry. So did he really rough it in solitude? No, he did not. Okay. But the point, though, is that try 30 minutes of complete stillness. Yes, you can move around physically, but sit still, okay? Sit in a meditative pose. Let your mind just explore. And see where you go. You're going to go to some deeper places. We live every day in this surface level of life. Makeup and hairspray and am I thin? Am I too fat? Am I ugly? Am I gay? Am I straight? We live right here. But in 30 minutes, you're going to go to the deeper places within yourself. And that's where inspiration is. And that's where creativity lives. And when you look for the deeper questions and meaning to life, it's in that depth. Okay? Think about it. As a writer, as an artist, we need our solitude. If I'm trying to write a novel, I have to have complete solitude. I can't write while students are talking to me or in my office when people are walking by. I have to be completely alone and isolated. And I have to trust that once I'm still physically and I'm not distracted by 1,000 things, you are going to be amazed at what floats to the surface of your existence. It's amazing. Now, I'll be honest, I've had a few students that when they start doing this, within 10 minutes, they start crying. I had a student once, and she wrote about it, because you do it and then you write a one-page reflection essay for the extra credit. And don't worry, I'll post it on eCampus. And she said after 10 minutes, she started weeping uncontrollably. And that's why I worry. If mentally you can't handle this, it's going to be rough.